Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. So today we're going to look at a new topic, which is importing data and exporting data from R. Right. But before we continue, I want you to go to my website. Right. To go to my website and then click on R programming. Right. And then find data intro R. Right, go to my website, click on data R programming and click on data intro R. So you will land to this page, right? So data set for introduction to R. So you need to download all the data set here. So all the data set in zip file. So you store your data set into a desktop lah, means somewhere that you can find the data set. So once you install the data, you store the data set, right? Let's say I just store it into my desktop, right? So this is import and export data. So this is a zip file, right? Zip file data set. So you click and extract all. So make sure you extract in this folder, right? So it will create a new folder for you lah, right? Data set introduction to R. The zip file you can delete lah. So just leave the extracted file lah, right? So now, so since the file you extracted going to be redundant kan kat sini kalau tengok is import and export data, and then data set introduction to R, and then you click data set introduction to R. So this is all the data set. So we're going to focus on folder number 1, which is basic R and importing data. So all of this data will be used by today, right? So now let's continue to R Studio, right? So we start with the introduction or importing data to R. Importing data is one of the first step in the field of data science lah, that come before data analysis or modeling, right? In order to do any kind of analysis, you need to have a good data that is organized well. So then once you have the data, then you can proceed with the analysis lah. But of course, when you import the data, you need to filter or clean the data first lah. That's why what we mean by need to have a good data organized. As a result, it is very important to have a quick and error-free way to import data lah. In the same way, after doing modeling or analysis in R, it is common need to share the result or visualization or change data set for sharing, reporting, or further process in other tools. So nowadays, a lot of journals require for data sharing, right? So if you look at, you search for many kind of high impact journal, so it will also provide the data, right? Means that if you want to publish your research, you need to publish the data as well. So why is the effective data import and export is crucial? Because of the integrity of data, right? Efficiency, versatility, and collaboration lah. So means that if people want to verify your analysis, right, they need to see your data and how you do the analysis. So in this notes, we will use demo.csv, and then demo.sav. Demo.sav is the SPSS file. The CSV is a comma, the separated file. And then this is a demo.xls, is an Excel file. Exercise.sav is SPSS file. kap1.dta is a STATA file. So all the data set can be downloaded from this link. So the link that I already provide to you, you go to my website, naserdrive1.wixsite.com/nasir916, and you go to R programming, click on data intro R, and download the data from this page, right? Then you need to extract all the file from the zip file that you already downloaded, right? So at first, before we import the data, right, maybe previously we already did something of some operation in R, right? We already learned some functions, and then we already learned about for loops, if statement, and then some basic matrices, data frame, and so on. So to clear your all object in R, right, we just there is some coding that we can use to clear all the object in R environment by typing rm list equal to ls, and then we click run here, right? If you are using a script file, then you should control enter. So you should see there are no object available in the environment lah, right? If you don't want to use coding, you can also use this button, this icon, click the broom to clear all object in R, right? So the second step that we need to understand and we need to do before we import the data, right? So we know that we already store our data into desktop. For my example, I store the data into import and export data, right? So import and export data, and then I go to dataset introduction to R, and then I choose number 1, which is a basic R and importing data, right? So first we need to check our current working directory, right? So to check our current working directory, we just type get wd, right, and click enter, right? So it should show that this is my current working directory, which is at my document. So if you click on file pane, so you will see all the file that I have in my document, right? So now I want to change the directory to my store data, right? So the folder that I already stored the data. So what I need to do is to know where is the location. So my location here is here lah. If I tap dekat atas ni, dekat URL atas. So this is my location of file. So folder number 1, basics R and importing data. So to set the working directory, we just type set wd, and then paste the URL, right? The address of my working directory. So but if you paste now, if you look at the get wd result, so the slash is backslash, not a forward slash. This is a forward slash, right? So if you copy from window, it shows a forward slash, right? C double dots forward slash users forward slash MNA, right? So R read the address by backward slash, so you need to change this to a backward lah, right? Change all the forward slash to backward slash, right? So this is one method lah. I will show you all the methods, right? So forward slash, backward slash, and this one done. So once you already do that, then you can set your working directory lah. So once you set working directory, now your file here is not moving yet, kan? You need to refresh lah. Wait. Or if you cannot refresh, then you go to move to working directory. I just click more, go to working directory, then you go to working directory lah. So if you look at your working directory, only contain your data, right? Only contain the data set that you already we want to store, you want to import, right? So this is one method, right? So another method is you can go to session, right? Session and set working directory. Find the set working directory and choose directory lah. So now you can choose the working directory by going to the folder that you want to go. So this is basic statistic, basic R and importing data, right? And click open. So it will store to our working directory, our need working directory, right? So or this is one second method, session set working directory, choose directory, or you can go to file pane and click more, right? Go you can find I think you can find from here. I think right, you can find from here, right? You boleh klik see and so on, carilah dia punya working directory kat sini, users, desktop, right? Cari desktop, where is MNA desktop, and then import and export data and find the folder, and then you can click on make set as working directory. Benda yang sama lah, you can play around here, right? Benda yang sama juga dengan session tadi, right? But this one you need to play around from here, right? Okay, so now you already set your working directory, right? So to see number 3, to see what all files in the current working directory, right? So what you need to do is by typing the dir open open double inverted comma and then dot, close double inverted comma, and then you will see all the data set that you have in the working directory, right? This is a simple way to do lah, instead of go to this one, right? So if you use this one, you can copy from the console and paste the data set that you want, right? Alright, this is a first step before we start with importing data lah, right? Okay, any questions so far? Ada soalan? No? Right, so now let's look at importing data from comma separated file. So what is a comma separated file? Comma separated file is the file that the extension of the file is .csv. The extension of file is .csv. And if you look at the folder, right? So folder of the file, the file name as demo, kan? So kita nampak kat sini, right? So if you look at this one, this the icon are same as Excel. The icon same as Excel, but if you look at the icon for demo here, this is a comma. A comma means that a comma separated file lah. So this one spreadsheet. So this is a worksheet, Excel worksheet. So this one also a comma separated file. You can see at the detail of the, if you view detail, right? If you view detail, so you can see the type of data. This is a Microsoft Excel comma separated value file, right? So if you double click the file at demo.csv, if you double click the file, it will open in the Microsoft Excel, right? It will open in Microsoft Excel. You cannot differentiate at first. You cannot differentiate whether this is a comma separated or Excel file, but this is a comma separated value data set. So how do we know? We know it from the extension of the file, or you can open it from Notepad. So maybe I can open from Notepad. Where is my Notepad? Yep, Notepad. So when I open it from Notepad, so it will show all the value in comma separated lah. Each variable are separated by comma. Each value are separated by comma. That's why we call it as a comma separated file. Okay, It means that the separated of each point is based on a comma, right? We also have a tab separated file. We also have a comma. We also have a slash and many more. If you have learned in a database subject, I think you already know the type of data, right? So now, before we start importing the data into R, we need to make sure the original file that we want to import meet this criteria. So we have 5 criteria to look at. The first row of the file should contain a variable name at the top. So if we look at this, the data here, this is a comma separated value. The first row of the file contain a variable name, and the second row onwards, right, contain the data. There are no others notes or any comments or anything else unless the data only, right? So the first row is the variable name, the second row onwards is the data. You need to make sure that. So that is the most important part before we start importing the data into R. And the variable name must include the normal letter, numbers and underscore, right? So mesti dalam bentuk normal letter, age, admission date, score, score underscore 1, right? This is acceptable variable names. If you are not sure, you need to check each of the variable names lah. Right? Else, I'll re-import the data by putting others name, right? Such as starting with something lah. Right? If the variable name contain space, also cannot be accepted lah. Right? So in this case, income space category, if you can look it more clearer, income space category. This is also not acceptable in R, right? But I will accept it, but it will not be income underscore space category. It will be income dot category. When R import the variable, the data into R environment, so this variable name will be changed to income dot category. So in R, sama juga in SPSS, they will not the variable name should not contain space lah, right? It should not include special characters such as space, right? Space, @ $, hashtag. For example, admission space did, hashtag race, @prop. So @prop is especially designed for special variable when we do analysis. So as I said, the data should begin at the second row and the first column onwards. Second row, first column onwards, right? So the data should be begin there. Everything that is not part of the data should be removed. For example, comment, label, graph, pivot table, semua kena buang. So especially the data that you take from internet, right? So for example, some data available in the internet, you need to check first whether the data contain comment ke, label, graph or pivot table inside the data set. You need to remove that part first before you import the data. Okay? Clear? So in this case, the data is well present lah. We don't have any notes, we don't have any comment or graph, right, inside the data. Yeah, the criteria are all met, but the thing that we note here is the income space category, right? It will import the data. When you import into R, it become income dot category, right? But we can understand this one, then we can revise it a bit later on. So that is the important part to know before importing any data, right? Not only inclusive to comma separated data, but it's also applied in other type of data such as Microsoft Excel data, right? Or Access data and so on. Right, so now let's try to import data for for comma separated file. So I'm going to show you first method, right, using read.table. So this is a method from base package. If you question mark read.table, right, look at the help document. Always look at help document before we start apply the formula, the function. So this is a read.table, come from util package. Util package is a base package lah. So it reads the table format and create data frame from it with cases corresponding to lines and variable to fill in the file. So this is the function available. First is a read.table, read.csv, read.csv2, read.delimited, read.delim2. So I will not cover these two, right? These three. But I will provide you another video about this, or you can see my previous video in my YouTube channel. So I'm going to show you read.table and read.csv. So read.table, first we need to specify our file, and then header by default is false, right? If you have a header, means that in our data set just now, right, we have header. Header is the variable name, right? Header is our variable name. Right, so kita tengok ni, a logical value indicating the file contain the name of variable. Right, by default for this one, header is false. If you look at read.csv, header is true, means that it will read the variable name. The separated, there are no defined separated for read.table, means that if you are importing comma separated file, you need to specify the separated value. Right. So let's use this one, right? So we want to try to import demo.csv, right? So I'm going to copy this one. So I'm going to store this as a data1, right? Read.table, right? Read.table, and then I will paste my file names, which is demo.csv. So you need to make sure that you already set up your working directory. And you check that your current working directory contain all of this data, right? If you are not yet setting the working directory, you cannot call the file name directly. It will turn to error lah, because you cannot locate the file name. So you need to make sure your current working directory contain the data set. So next, I'm going to put header equal to true, and then separated by comma. So this is the operation that I want to do, right? Because we know that the data is separated by comma, and the first row contain a variable name. So then we can run this one. So it's very fast, right? So we can check the data, check the dimension of the data set. So dimension data1 should be equal to 6,400 rows and 28 variable. We can also check the names of data1. It will show all 28 variables name. So if you look at this one, income category, it become income dot category already. Just now in original file, income category is income space category. So in R, it will not accept space, so it will move the space to replace the space to dot. Right. Okay, so on dot VCR. If you see this one, on dot VCR means that it contain two space here. 1, 2. Nampak? Boleh nampak sini? Ada dua space. That's why we have two dot, double dot. And then we can also use function names head data1 to show first 6 observation. Maybe I want to modify this first bit 1 until 5, n equal to 10. For example, just 10 first observation for first 5 variables, right? So this is very good operation. If you look at the environment here, we already have data 1 with 6,400 observation and 28 variables. We can show here. We can also view the file by typing capital VIEW data 1. So it will show all the full data set display in the spreadsheet lah. But if you have a very large data, the view function is not very good to apply because it will slow down your PC. It depends on your PC performance lah, right? So mine is quite okay, right? So let me jot down some notes for you. We can also view some of the observation by head, data 1. So this one, it will show first 6 observation for all data. Right, so maybe kita letak head data 1 until 5, and then I will show n equal to 10. So this one to show first 10 observations at for variable number 1 to 5. Okay, right, so this is the first method by using read.table, right? So the second method that I want to show you is using .csv, right? Using table read.csv, right? Read.csv. Oops. So it's the same thing, right? To use read.csv, let me point it to data 2, read.csv. Right, in help file kita tengok tadi, the first argument should be your file name, right? And then header by default is true. We don't need to specify header is equal to true right now when we use read.csv. And the separated is already defined to comma. So we don't need to define others argument, right? We just need to put the file name only, demo.csv. Right, that's all. And we can run this one, and then it will appear to the second environment data object, which is 6,400 observation. It's the same data, right? But I just copy it into a different method. So this one is quite easy compared to the first one, right? We don't need to specify header equal to true, separated value when you import the comma separated file. And let's look at the third method. So this is a new method, but not really new. readr library, right? So we're going to use a readr library. So in readr, first thing that you need to do is to install, right? First, install the package. Right, so how to install the package? We just type install.packages. I think this one we already covered in the last topic, right? Install packages, readr, and it will install for you lah. Maybe I don't want to install because I already have the package, I think. Right, so maybe I try to call. Once you already install, you need to load the package. So how to load the package? Library readr. So I think I already have the package. If you don't have the package, you need to install first, right? So I already have the package. So you can check the package version, read R. So this is version 2.1.4, right? So this package was built for 4.2, our version 4.2.3. My current version is 4.2.1, right? So it's not really new version, but it's okay, we can use it. Okay, so now once you already install the package, then you can call the library, call the data by using, let's say I type data3 read underscore CSV, right? Just type demo.csv, just similar to read.csv, right? Let's look at the documentation, read underscore CSV. So by documentation, read underscore CSV is from read R package, read a tab delimited file including CSV or TSV into table. So table is kind of a data frame, but it really friendly environment compared to data frame. Later I will show you what is the difference. So we will use read underscore CSV. First argument is file. We need to specify our file name. Call name is equal to true, maksudnya it will read the first row of your data as a header, right? And then the separated value, is it defined separated value? Data defined, but it's already for CSV file, right? So we don't need to specify anything. So we call this data3, right? Demo.csv. It will show 6,400 observation and 28 columns, right? It's the same things. So remember just now we called data2, right, by using base package data2 by using read.csv. So if you type data2 on your console, right, and click enter, it will show all the data point, right, in the data set until reach max, right? If you want to show more, then you can adjust the get option max print, but this is not really a good presentation or result to show the table, right? So it will slow down your PC. Let me show you data3. So data3, I click, it will show you some of the observation. It depend on the size of your console. Dia tak tunjuk semua. This is very good, right? This is table, and then this is data frame. Data frame and table are same. All the index operation that we have learned previously can be also used in table, right? So table is good because it shows us the type of data, right? This is double, right? And if you have factor, it will convert to factor lah, but it will not show the factor yet lah. Data3, right? This is gender is a character, right? Okay, good. Okay, this is numeric and so on. So now, which one to use? It depends on your preference lah, on your data set size. If you have a very large data set, I would like to say that you should use read underscore CSV. Right, let's look at comparing time to load the data into R by comparing each of the function, right? So to compare time to load in R, so let me put time 1. This is our current time, right? And then data 2, I'm going to use read.csv, right? Demo.csv. I just copy back the function, right? I just want to know the time taken to load to load the data 2 using CSV, right? Another one is time 2 proc time data 3 read underscore CSV time demo.csv, and then I measure proc time minus time 2, right? So I just run this one. So this one need to be right. So if you look at this one, seems like read underscore CSV took longer compared to read.csv. It is because read.csv is a base package. Of course, it will be a very fast compared to read underscore CSV lah. Okay. So just another function to import data is by using data.table package, right, which is fread function, right? This function utilizing parallel processing method. Right, this function will use or will apply a parallel programming method. Alright, so this is another function. I think this is very good. Right, before that we need to install the package. Install. You can go to, if you don't want to type, you can go to package and click on install data table. Right, so if you already have the data table, then you don't have, you need to install first. You need to install. So if you already have, and load the package. So you need to load the package by library data.table, right? So okay, warning is okay, but it should be in upgrade version lah, but this will work fine for previous version. So once you read the table, let me compare the time, right? Time 3 lah, time 3 proc time, then I put data number 4, right? fread demo.csv. Okay, and then put the proc.time minus time 3. So I think this one should be very fast compared to the previous one. So this is taking 3 seconds, less than 3 seconds lah. This is 1 second, this is 0.03, this is 0.27, this is 0.02 second. I think fread is a fast read table function. It can be used to read the most if you have very large data set, then you can use fread to read the table, import the data. So you can view the data, let's say head data 4 1 until 5 lah, 1 until 5 and equal to 10, right? So it will show us all the data. Oops, kenapa dia tak keluar macam tu? I think, oh yeah, I think fread have another way to read this one lah. Maybe kita tengok f data 4, right? So this is also a data table and data frame lah, sama juga, but sometimes we need to adjust the code. But if you want to import the large data, then you can use fread lah. Okay, this is about importing data from comma separated file, right? So now let's look at, do you have any question? So next we will look at how to import from Microsoft Excel file, right? Microsoft Excel file. Some same condition, Microsoft to import the data, you need to make sure the first row should contain the variable name, and the second row onward should be your data set, the data value, and the variable should be normal letter. It cannot start with numbers, right? It should start with letters and followed by numbers or underscore, right? So then everything that is not part of the data should be removed. Graph ke, label, pivot table, semua kena remove. So this is the demo.csv .excel. This is Microsoft Excel 97 to 2003 worksheet. So if you have a newer version also can, let me save it for a newer version. Let me open this one, demo.excel. Excel selalunya lambat sikit lah. That's why people, when we have a data set, we are not going to store in Excel. Because if you compare CSV file and Excel, CSV file, this is the same data set. CSV file, we have a smaller size of data. And for Excel file, it contain a largest file of data lah. So this is not, kita nak buka. Okay, baru nak buka sebab dia besar kan, so dia lambat sikit. So this is Excel file. So you need to make sure the first row is your the variable name, and second row onwards is your data set. And then in Excel we have sheet, right? First sheet is demo, second sheet is sheet 1. We also have data in sheet 1, second sheet, right? We should note that before we start importing the data. We need to know which the data that we want to import in which sheet. Sheet number 1 or sheet number 2. Right, this is sheet number 1, this is sheet number 2, and this sheet number 1 has a name, demo. Sheet number 2 has a default name, sheet 1, right? And we want to import this data, and sheet 1 is not really in proper presentation of the data, right? Where the first row contain nothing, the first variable name is in row number 3, and the data is row number 4, right? So now I want to import the data from Excel. So we can also import data from XLS or xlsx. Means that xlsx is the Excel worksheet, the newer version. The XLS is the previous one, 97 2003. So let me copy the notes here. Right, so one of the best way to read Excel is to export it into comma delimited file and import it into the above method. But it will take sometimes lah. But if you don't want to waste the time, you can use XLS package to access the Excel file. The first row should contain a variable name. As a start, we can read the data fast. First worksheet from the workbook demo SLS. So let's look at the directory that we have. Directory. Right. We know that we want to import this demo.xls. We need to know what is the extension of the file. So to start importing the file, we need to install a library name as xls. So you need to install .package xlsx, right? So this one I will not apply in my site because I already have. So second step, next load the library. So load the library, which is in library xlsx, right? So you need to load the library first. So once the library already loaded, right, I think wait all right, I think this is not xlsx, right? This should be read xl function library, right? Read xl. So we need to use a library read xl function, right? So once you already load the library, right, read xl. So this library is actually developed by our studio team. You can find read xl. So this is a read xl file package, right? It's developed by our studio team. So import xl into R, support xls embedded with the library xls, and we can also import xlsx, right? It works in Windows, Mac, and Linux as well, right? So how to use it? This is a contributor, right? So how to use it? We're going to use read underscore xl function. So we can use read underscore xl for read xl, read xls and xlsx file. So we can use read underscore xl. So first we need to put the first argument, which is your path, your file name, and sheet equal to none by default, right? But if you're not specifying the sheet, it will take the first sheet to read the data, right? It's the best way, it's the best practice to read the sheet first, to specify the sheet name, and then that's all, I think. So let's look at the demo.xls file. So I'm going to import the file. Let's say I'm going to put a data number 5, right? Read underscore xl. I just put demo.xls, and we know that sheet that I'm going to import is a demo sheet, right? Betul? So I just need to specify which sheet that I want to take, right? So this is a demo sheet, right? Nampak kan? So I'm going to take the data from a demo sheet, and I'm sure that the first row is your variable name, the second rows onward is your data set. So I just need to run this one, and I think it's already loaded into our environment. It's very fast, right? So that's all, right? Or maybe kita try satu lagi. This is the file, right? So I just want to save a copy, save as, instead of XLS, the original format, I want to change it to Excel workbook, xlsx, right? So I just tick save, and then I tengok dekat sini. Do you have this one? Yeah, this is demo file. It's the same file, but I just changed the type of the file, right? So it's the same file. First variable, the first row is a variable name, second row onwards is your data, and the data is in demo sheet. So now let's try to look at the data name. So we have demo.xls. So let me copy this one. To import .xlsx file, it's the same thing, right? Data number 6, read xl, right? And then I paste the variable file name. Sheet is equal to demo. It's the same thing, I think, right? It's already loaded into R, right? Data 6 is already there. You can view the file, view data 6, and here is it. And then we can do many argument, right? Let's say kita look at head data 6, right? 1 until 5, n equal to 10, for example. Let's say I want to do data 6, I want to do some multiplication, indexing, right? I just want to do some select cases. Let's say data 6 age more than 60, right? And then that's all. So it will show, or instead of 6,000, we have 558 observation that age more than 60 years old. This is just an example. We can do manipulation in this data set. Okay, that's it. So we can also let me copy the notes. In the file name, you can also mention either XLS or xlsx. There are another method to import from Excel without specifying the sheet name. But you need to know which sheet you want to import. Instead of knowing the sheet name, right, I can also not to specify the sheet name, but I need to know what is the sheet number, right, in order. So for example, data number 7, right, read underscore Excel, right, and then I paste, demo.xlsx, and then I put sheet equal to 1, right. It will also read the table, the data, right. So how many data we have? So we can check here, dimension data 7, 6,400. So if you don't not specify the sheet name, what will happen? So let's try this one again. So it also will read the data, right, from the first sheet, right? Boleh faham? Kalau kita tak specify the sheet name, right, but we know that we want to extract from the first sheet, so it will read the first sheet. So if you want to read for the second sheet, you need to specify sheet equal to 2. So dimension data 7. So we have 1 and 4. So let's say data 7. So it will show us the variable and the data, right? So this is quite intelligent. We can read the data without specifying the first row as a variable name, right? It's quite okay, quite good, because this is a package developed by RStudio. I think this is very good. Okay, any questions so far before we go further? I think we should have 5-minute rest before we continue to the next part, which is importing from SPSS file and STATA file. And then I want to finish up until importing from a website data file. Okay, and if we cannot finish by today, maybe we can do it on the next class. All right, so we take a 5-minute rest, right? For the next part, I'm going to show you how to import data from SPSS data file, right? So SPSS data file, this is part number 3, right? So to import data file from SPSS format, we need to install foreign library, right? We need to install a foreign library. In foreign library, we able to import data file from SPSS and STATA. So this is another package that we need to install, foreign library, right? So first step, what you need to do is to install the library lah. Install package foreign, right? So if you already installed, as my PC is I already installed, so I no need to run again lah. I just need one time to install lah. Force. Right, so once you install, if you already install the package, please load it up by calling the library. So how to call the library? Library foreign. So I already have the foreign library. I just need to call the library lah. Right. So once you call the library, now we can begin to import the data from SPSS file. So SPSS file is a statistical package file, right? So means that the data is already well defined as compared to CSV or Excel file, right? So if you look at demo.sav, this is a SPSS statistic file, right? So SPSS statistic data document. So now if you look at this one, it's already well described, right? We have label, we have value. For example, marital status is married, 0 for unmarried, 1 for married, right? Unlike Excel or CSV file, this all information is not defined yet, right? So we need to define later on. So later on we will look at how to define the data, the variable. Okay, in this SPSS file also already noted that which variable is categorical and which variable is numerical, right? By measure scale kat sini kan. So now so of course when we import statistical package data file, right, it should be the data should be already clean or in a well manner lah, right? So we don't need to worry about the others node and so on. So now to import, we use the data. I am going to store it into data 8, right? Data 8, and then I'm going to use a read.spss function. So the data that I'm going to import is, maybe I'm going to use another data, maybe data exercise lah. Maybe this one lain sikit kan, data exercise. So we have age, sex, tone, location and so on, right? All the variable are well defined. So I'm going to use data exercise. So cari dekat sini data exercise, right? Put it here, and then by using read.spss, there are the function or argument that we need to specify, right? Let's look at the function read.spss. We need to specify the file and use value.label equal to true. Maksudnya dia akan automatically import the value label to data frame. By default is false, but in R we want the data to be in the data frame format, so we need to change this to true, right? I'm going to put to data.frame equal to true, right? And then I letak kat bawah lah, senang nampak. Okay, and then what else what we want to do? I think trim factor name false and it's more okay lah, cukup lah, dekat tu saja, right? So just two argument, our file names, and then another argument is to data frame equal to true, and then we import the data. It's already there, very fast. Data 8, right? So this is a data structure. Age is numeric, sex is factor, is already defined as a factor. As I said, a statistical package data set is quite okay compared to Excel or CSV file. So this is basically the first method lah, right? By using foreign package, by using foreign package. Right. So let's look at the second method using HMISC package. Right. So I'm going to show you all the package available. Later on, in your quiz, your test, you'll be able to choose which package or which function that you want to use. The second package is called as there are another method to import SPSS data file into R by using xlsx library. So of course you need to install the library first lah. Install package capital HMISC. Right. So if you're not really readily install, you need to install first lah. So you can install by using this function. Right. Click on install. Right. And type HMISC. The RStudio will guide you. Right. Or you can type the function, the codes. Now once you install, you need to call the library lah. So library HMISC, and then once you call the library, calling the library. Right. Once you call the library, then you can load the data by using get SPSS.get. So data 9. So I'm going to use function SPSS.get for HMIC, we have SPSS.get. So SPSS.get is a function, right, from package HMIC. So this is enhanced importing of SPSS file. So how to use it? We need to specify the file name, and lower names is equal to false. Means that it will not lower the name, the variable name. Use the value label equal to true, right? Means that we are going to use a value label, but in this case 2.data.frame is also equal to true. So we don't need to specify as we use in read.spss from foreign library. We just use put the names of the data file. That's all. And then this package will read the SPSS file correctly. So dimension data 9, right? So str data 9 is already well defined lah. You boleh tengok dekat sini, ataupun you boleh tengok dekat environment data 9 is already converted into data frame. This is a data frame, right? Dia tulis sini data frame. And we can use all the operation in data frame in this object, right? Let's look at another one. Let's look at third method. This is a very good method using heaven package, right? So heaven package is a package developed by RStudio. So since we are using RStudio, so we should use the heaven package, right? So to import SPSS data file into R using heaven package, so very simple. So first we need to install package lah, heaven. So if you're not really ready install, you need to install first, but in my case I already installed the package. Then after you install, load the package, the library, and start importing data. So library heaven, right? We need to load the package, and then I'm going to store it into data 10 read underscore sav. Read underscore sav is the function for reading or importing SPSS data file. We know that the extension of SPSS is .sav, right? You know that? So this is when you right click and you show properties, so we show that .sav is the extension of SPSS file, SPSS data file. So we don't need to specify anything, because if you look at the read underscore sav documentation, right, first we need to call the library lah, right? And then I'm going to call the documentation. First I need to call the library, and then baru boleh tengok the help document. The file that we need to specify, and then else we don't need to specify anything, right? Okay. Right, so next I'm going to copy the file name and paste it here, then that's all. Itu saja, tak banyak apa pun, right? Let's look at data 10. Where is the data 10? Is over here. So it's same as get SPSS.get attribute. It's actually a data frame lah, str data 10. So if you look at the comparison, data 10 is actually in term of table. This is very good, right? Compared to data 9 is actually in the form of data frame, right? So we want R to convert it into a table because we want it to display more friendly data format in our console. But both data frame and table is work well when we want to do analysis lah. Okay, right. Another part is about importing file from STATA file, right? But before that, let me show you the comparison. Compare time to load in R. Right, so let's look at compare time to load in R. Let me copy the code first. I just want to show you what is the time taken to load the SPSS file using foreign library and Heaven library. So let's look at this one. So if you look at the comparison, the foreign library will take 0.04 second late compared to read_sav. Right? Read_sav is very fast compared to foreign library, because this is developed by for our studio team, right? It should be work very well. Okay, any questions so far? So now the next part is importing data from STATA file, right? So this one is the final part to import the physical file. This is number 4, I think, right? This is number 3, number 4. So STATA file is .dta, right? If you look at the data folder, we have KAP1. This is a STATA dataset, right? STATA dataset is .dta, right? So if you look at the extension is .dta, right? So I don't have the STATA software in my PC, right? But this contain the data, but we want to read the data. So how to read the data? So we have two methods, right? A first method using foreign. As I said just now, foreign can load SPSS and STATA file, right? So let me bold this one. Can load SPSS and STATA file. So I'm going to use a foreign library, right? Foreign library to import STATA file. So we know that our directory, so we have KAP1 is a STATA file, right? So by using a foreign library, so I think just now we already called the foreign library. We don't need to call many times, right? One time is just enough. But I just want to show or emphasize to you that this came from foreign library. So data 11, right? I'm storing in data 11 read.dta. Instead of read.spss, I'm going to use read.dta function, right? So I copy kap1.dta and I paste here, just like that. So that's all. So if I call data 11, it will show all the data set that I already import into R. So this is a data set in SPSS STATA file. Okay, and then the second method using Heaven package. So another one is we can use the Heaven package to import the STATA file. Okay, so how to import? So first we need to call library Heaven lah, right? Since we want to use the Heaven package. But as I said just now, once you already call the Heaven package, then you don't need to call many times. So this is for the sake of demonstrating lah. Data 12. So I'm going to use read underscore DTA and paste the variable file name. Right, that's all. Itu saja. Right. Compare with the previous one. Read underscore DTA is a table format. Read.dta is a data frame format. That's why when we type data 11, it will appear all the data in our console. But for data 12, it will show partial, depending on how large your console lah. So let's say I besarkan sikit, right? Saya letak data 12, so dia lebih banyak sikit dia pergi kan. Dia akan bagi maximum 10 lah, 10 rows, sama juga. Okay, itu saja untuk importing a flat file. This is what we call a flat file stored in your PC. Okay, so next I'm going to go for importing from internet or web data, right? I think that one we hold until the next class, maybe next week, right? So but you can always look at my previous video on importing and exporting data into R in my YouTube channel, right? And I also already published my notes, right, in my website. So you can have a look on my website kan. I pergi ke website I dekat notes on R. You can go to import and export data. This is a full notes that I already prepared for you, including importing from web and Parquet file, and last is exporting data, right? So you can have a look and then you can try to answer the question, the exercise that I already provide to you. Okay, but we will continue this lecture on the second part, where we will continue from number 5, importing data from the web. And we will look at how to scrap the data where the scraping part is not included in the notes, right? Tak ada dalam notes. Nanti I tunjuk dekat you how to scrap the data from website. For example, you want to scrap the data from Shopee, you want to scrap the data from Wikipedia, Facebook, Twitter, and nowadays we call X, right? And then TikTok lah, you nak ambil all the data. All the data can be downloaded easily by using R. Okay, I think that's all for the first part of importing data into R. So do you have any question before we end the session? So I think that's all. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.